All right, so I want to talk about how I lived in my car and I lost a bunch of money. Okay, now let's make this very clear. If y'all see a bump right here, it's because I was playing ball and guy just when I was in the air trying to yam, his elbow just smacked the hell out of my head. But all right, so if you guys don't know, I'm an entrepreneur. I own multiple businesses. I am somebody that has been reselling for over a decade. But you may be asking, how did I end up living in a car? Now, I want to make this very clear. I lived in a car by choice, and then I moved into some hotels and stuff like that. The reason I didn't get an apartment at the time was because my credit was bad and I needed a CPN at least to get a spot. So I had to wait for that to come in, and then I visually got a spot. But the point of the matter is I did. Now, yes, I could have stayed with family, but the point I think that I was at the time was again embarrassment, and that's where this really comes into play because again. Entrepreneur, you got some things going on now. Why didn't you stay at stores? Well, you couldn't stay at the store because if you stayed at the store, you were risking your life. To be honest, I did sleep in my store plenty of times, but then I realized that I was doing YouTube at the time actually too. So I would have people that would come, and this is when I used to put my store locations and stuff online, and I would have people actually come into my store to say what's up, but like when they didn't see me leave, I it was a little weird. I don't really want to go too much in depth because I don't want to like speak nothing into existence, but it became very dangerous because of the locations my stores is at and just the way people were watching, right? So couldn't stay at my store because that was obviously hot. If somebody broke in and I was there, I'm baked, bro. Like now, yes, I have protection, but it ain't no telling how many, and the area I was in wasn't good. So I decided that I was going to live in my car. You know, I haven't sat in front of so many stores and watch people go in and out and be okay and live their life so much in my life. When I was in this car, um, nobody checked on me, and I didn't let nobody know because I was embarrassed. The reason I was in the car is because the house that I thought I could call home was a place where I kept being disrespected. Right? I just felt disrespected, and some may say it's ego, but I don't think that it's ego. I view it as self love because I started to realize like, yo, if I keep like taking this, how can I look myself in the mirror? You feel me? So I ended up just dipping and sleeping in the wheel, sleeping in the car. I would go work and bust my moves, but at the end of the night, I would lay in the car. And I lost a lot of money because what I ended up doing is sometimes I would get hotels, but I would get hotels in good areas, obviously. Um, and I would also lose a lot of money because I wouldn't be able to go live or create as many videos as I wanted. And I lost a lot because I fell so far behind. And you guys didn't, well, the people that watch my other YouTube videos didn't know because I would always have videos scheduled ahead of the time, right? Sometimes I even got videos scheduled a month in advance. Um, so they didn't know, right? But there's been me literally. Now I've never almost got robbed or hurt or anything, but I would go over to family's house to get in the shower and eat, but I wouldn't tell them what was going on. And my back was hurting. My car started to overheat. I felt so lonely and depressed. And it was really honestly because I didn't want to ask for help. Because I felt like people expected me to be the help. Just like I left that crib because I felt like I deserved to be respected more. I didn't want to go into anybody else's house or let anybody else know my situation because I felt like I would lose that respect and be treated the same way that I was treated when I broke away from or went away from. And It cost me so much. You want to talk about gas, y'all? I had a Grand Jeep. I got a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It used to cost so much money to fill, and especially when you got the heat on, and it was very hard. And then what I finally realized when I started to get um hotels, I started to realize like, yo, I'm either gonna ask for help or I'm gonna stay in the situation because the person that I'm feeling disrespected from, they know eventually I gotta come back, right? Like they know eventually I'm gonna pull back up because I still have stuff there, obviously. Like everything's there, obviously, right? So I started to think to myself, like, why am I in this car? Like, what's the point, right? Like, is this actually self love being in this car? Because yeah, you may say, okay, B, you just got tired of it and you felt like you deserve better. But then I think to myself, well, how much are you treating yourself better? Even if you are staying at a nice Hilton or whatever, or the W or wherever you're staying, great. But guess what, bro? You're still spending mad bread, plus paying bills and paying rent and doing this and that. You're spending a lot of money. And I used to always have the person that I was felt disrespected from say, "Oh, you're creating unnecessary emergencies." And that's all they used to tell me. You're creating unnecessary emergencies. And I'll never forget that person saying that because I would think to myself, wow, like you think this is an unnecessary emergency instead of you being there for me. You feel me? Like being like, yo, you good? You alright? Like I know you got feelings and emotions. And as a man, I think that sometimes when we're invincible, and well, when we're not invincible, when we are invisible to some people, we hurt. We hurt. And then what I had to realize though is it's not my fault that I'm not high on another person's priority list. Even if that person was high on mine and I cared about that person, it just confirms that person didn't care about me as much as I cared about them, and I wasn't on their priority list anymore. So they didn't see my feelings. They didn't see or ask where I was sleeping or even care because they wanted me to suffer. And I always had like a thought to myself, like, yo, love. Because when I love in a certain way. I don't want to say when I love real, right? Because you can't tell how or tell someone how to love. But when I love to the point to where, like, if me and you get in an argument, I still love you. Like, I still love you after that argument. Like, I still bang with you. Like, I really love you. So, like, if something happened to you or you need me, even though we just got in an argument, I got your back like a bra strap. Like, I love you. You feel me? So don't even worry about it. Like, yeah, we beefing, but I still love you. Like, but not everybody in my life, from what I see, has that. The person that I thought loved me, when we got in arguments, they hopped on the phone and was indulging in social media over trying to fix miscommunication or try to be sneaky and go behind my back. So like I started to like really adjust in my head like what love actually was. And it led to me being in a dark place because when you own businesses and when you have people looking up to you and when you're paying people to do things for you, the last thing you want to do is walk into a building or establishment with anything less than a smile. So like throughout this whole transaction or whole ordeal, I had to have my chest out, chin up, and just smile and be confident, even though I did not feel confident. I had to be good even though I didn't feel good. And that hurt. And I think the main point of this video that I'm trying to tell y'all is like, bro, like, if you need help, don't ever hesitate to say it, because if I just would have talked to, let's say, my family and got some help to just get back on my feet, at least while I look for an apartment or look for somewhere to stay, I would have saved money. And also, I think that I would have been able to exert more self-love, because sometimes we put ourselves in situations that we don't have to be because we think that we can hold everything. And I almost broke. I didn't, but I almost did. And I don't want y'all to go through that, bro. Like, no matter what you're going through, no matter how bad it makes you feel, what I want you to do is I want you to realize that even if people don't see you or prioritize you, you gotta be there to prioritize and see yourself. And sometimes prioritizing and seeing yourself is you open up your mouth saying, hey, I need to rebuild. Can you assist me, to a family member, to somebody that you know for a fact loves you? Because they'll love you through your flaws, your ups, your downs, your resets. And you'll be able to rebuild and focus. But it's all about your environment. And that's one last thing I'll say. Like, living in a car, I wasn't in a good environment. I was in a trap. So it wasn't as productive as I would have liked. And that was a huge lesson for me. And I would just say to anybody out there that feels this way, don't hesitate to ask for that help, because it may be the difference between you being more successful and you having more of a setback. Peace.